Hi folks, this is Top Jimmy 33, and I'm going to start a series on how to mod for Arena. So I'm going to be calling it Modding for Arena, and basically what I'm going to do is look at some of my fellow guildmates' Arena squads and see what types of mods they have, and just kind of offer my input and suggestions as far as how I would actually mod their team. And the purpose of the video series is, just to create some more insight and to get, a little bit of perspective as to how someone would go about modding an arena team, especially if you don't have God mods or if you don't have, a wide variety of mods. Many players who are just starting out or are in lower GP guilds might not have all the ideal choices. So this is just basically how I would try to get or make the most out of your mod collection on your arena squad, which is your most important squad. So the first guildmate that I'm going to look up is, let's see here, David 4040. So let's just check out how he's doing in arena. So his current rank is 272. And he's running a squad of a Rex lead with Stormtrooper Han. He has a Biggs and Wedge and Princess Leia. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at those tunes and see how they're modded and see if they're modded, optimally, to try to get the best bang for your buck as far as what you have in your particular collection. So the tools we're going to use for this is a great site called Crouching Rancor. So I want to thank everybody at the swgoh.gg site. It's a great tool for players, and also Crouching Rancor is an absolute fabulous tool for being able to manage mods, because let's face it, the in-game interface is a little lacking. So what we're going to look at here in Crouching Rancor is we're going to look up a couple different things. We're going to look up the mod advisor, and that's just going to basically tell you in an ideal world what type of mods you might want to be looking for your particular tunes. And then we're also going to be looking at his actual mods that he has in game through the mods manager. And what we're going to do first is, if you look at his squad, he has three kind of high-hitting DPS characters, and that's the three characters that we're going to look at and attempt to mod first. Okay, so we're going to look at Biggs, Wedge, and Princess Leia. Now, if we look at the mod advisor, so if we're going to look up Biggs, and how about one S on Biggs? There we go. So if we look up Biggs, you're going to see that it recommends you run a crit damage set and a crit chance set. And you can only run two sets because a crit damage set actually takes 4 mods in order to complete that set bonus. And you're always going to run offense on the square. You don't have a choice on that. Pretty much in arena, you almost always want to run a speed arrow, unless if it's a tank or a different special circumstance. You have no choice. You're always going to run defense on your diamond. Crit damage is a very, very powerful mod if you can get a crit damage on your triangle. You definitely always want to go for protection over health in arena on the circle. Health may be for a healer, but you're pretty much always going to look for protection for added survivability. And it's recommending an offense or protection on your cross. Okay, so that's going to be Biggs. Now Wedge, if we look up Wedge, it's actually going to be the exact same recommendations. Both Biggs and Wedge, if you're familiar with them, are very, very high DPS tunes, heavy hitters. And also if we look at Princess Leia, Princess Leia has the same recommendations across the board as well. So these three characters that he's running in his team are all high-hitting DPS characters that are all looking for the same thing. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at his mod collection and kind of seeing like how these are actually modded on his team right now. And if they're not modded optimally, we'll try to make sure that he gets the proper advice or insight to be able to do so. So one thing before we begin, what we're going to be utilizing here in the mod manager is something called Squad Simulator. So if I click Squad Simulator, you're going to see the Squad Simulator is going to be brought up right here. And that's what we're going to be using to look through all of his mods and to place them on his actual characters. Okay, so that's a real great tool to use as you're kind of building your squads, because then you can kind of see exactly where your mods are placed in your current collection and how they're going to be placed on your character and what benefits they're going to be giving your character on the side here. And then just before we begin, one last thing I'd like to mention about mods is I saw some interesting analysis a while back, and I don't know if this is completely up to date, but it seems to hold true, is a fellow on Reddit actually compiled a big analysis of mods way back in May when they had a 100% drop rate. Now they have a 100% drop rate naturally. But one thing he noticed, and he did a lot of analysis, was the mods on the left side appear very frequently. They're very common mods, squares, diamonds, and circles. You might notice when you're farming mods, you get those more often. Whereas the arrows, and the triangles especially, and the crosses are a little more rare. So you might notice, especially with triangles, if you're just trying to mod all your tunes, you might be, lacking in triangles. And what's interesting about the right side of the mods is that they're rarer and there's more variety in the primary stats. So to get kind of like a good mod that you're looking for is much harder to do on the right-hand side of the mod panel compared to the left-hand side. So that might come up into play when we start looking at his mod collection. So guys, this is our introductory video into the series Modding for Arena. In my next video, we're going to look at David 4040's mods, and we're going to attempt to mod the first 3 characters, those 3 DPS characters that we talked about in his arena squad. So please check out my next video, and thanks for tuning in.